We did 20K in 13 days. I couldn't have done it without you, dude. For real. First and foremost, I'm a human. I'm not just a guy teaching piano or playing piano. I like to help in other ways and be there for people and be there for myself. And once again, music is just probably my most favorite way in transmitting that kind of vibe. Let's say this year I was making, let's say $115 an hour. I was thinking, man, they could double this pay and I still wouldn't want to do this. And that's when I really realized this is not even about the money for me. I could utilize my expertise in such better ways. So there was a guy I was talking to, really cool, talented dude who shared with me some of his numbers. He has like 500,000 followers and he has a course. And I asked him how much he makes from his course. And he's like, oh, it's a really good passive income. In the last 2 years, I made 20K from it. I'm like, okay, so if I make my course, it brings me an extra 10K a year. Fine, sure, I'll take it. Then I launched my course. Man, we did 20K in 13 days. Not even to compare or anything, but just to know like what's possible. We have like 70 people in the academy now. I couldn't have done this without you, man. Like literally.
Welcome to today's video. I'm here with Charlie Tran, my good friend and client, and today's episode is actually very special to me because, well, Charlie and I have been working together for the past 4 months to give you a little bit of a spoiler of what's to come. Charlie is a amazing, very skilled jazz piano coach, mentor, teacher, I should say. And just a few months ago when we met, Charlie was essentially running his in-person coaching business. He had an idea to bring it online and wasn't exactly sure what the best path was, and June just finished and he has officially reached 40K in sales. And man, I'm so fucking proud of you. It's been an amazing journey, and in today's video I really want to give you the stage to kind of really help you in sharing a little bit more about what this journey was like, what it's like for you in the first place, really what you do. I want you to share with the world and honestly just to reflect back on our journey. So that being said, Charlie, thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for coming on today's episode, as I can frame it. And before we get into all the schmuck of working together, all the fun parts, all the laughter, introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, appreciate that warm welcome, man. All that love. Always appreciate all the love. A little bit about myself. Well, I could go on and on. Do you have like specific questions for me?
Whatever you want to tell the world, man, because I like to think that a lot of people will see this one day. And how do you want to share yourself to the world?
Man, first and foremost, I'm a human.
Love that.
You know?
Hell yeah.
I'm a human, just like everybody else. Just a human trying to make things work, trying to live a good life, build a great life, trying to help other people and help myself as much as I can.
Love that.
And music is just one of those few ways that I've found that I can do that, you know. So that's why I say first and foremost, I'm a human. I'm not just a guy teaching piano or playing piano. You know, I like to help in other ways and be there for people and be there for myself. And once again, music is just probably my most favorite way in transmitting that kind of vibe,
I love that
kind of idea. Yeah.
Awesome, man. So tell us a little bit about your piano coaching business, or I should say jazz piano business. How long have you actually been teaching, been helping others, and really what got you even to the point of bringing it online?
Man, I started teaching in 2016. Right?
Damn, that's
so
a decade.
No,
that's almost a decade ago. I can't believe we can use the word
Yeah.
decade, because 2016 was low-key just a flash ago, man.
Yeah. So it started then. I was just working, you know, at like local music academies and whatnot, teaching kids. And at that point, after a couple of years, I realized I had my own ideas. You know, I bumped heads with a lot of my bosses on how I wanted to approach music education. So eventually I branched off on my own. And I started teaching from my own studio, from my own house. I also did a lot of driving around to people's houses, just a lot of hours. You know, it was a
In
grind.
person, it was the good old grind where you're basically
Yeah.
a glorified freelancer in a way.
Pretty much, yeah. Don't even get me started with COVID, the lockdown in 2020. Imagine teaching 25 kids, you know, on Zoom. I got 5-year-olds on Zoom, man. Like, oh my goodness, it was the most insane virtual daycare ever. But anyways, fast forward. I've always been about growth, moving things forward. And for a while, just doing that same old, you know, going through the method books, going through the beginner level books and teaching the same things over and over and over. I mean, someone has to do it, and it's great. And I've got so much fulfillment working with these kids,
Yeah.
truly. And I've learned so much about myself in the process, a lot about patience.
Patience. I was gonna say, man, working with kids. Listen, I'm not the most patient human being. Although, as I've grown as well as an individual, and taking this a lot from my father, I've learned to become patient. But like, I can't even imagine what it's like teaching 25 kids on a Zoom. Was it in one Zoom session or was it multiple people?
Oh, they one-on-ones.
Oh yeah, no. Even so, still getting a child on the computer to listen to the
That's
work.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. I
Yeah,
totally
that's what
hear
I'm
you.
saying.
So at one
Yeah,
point,
yeah,
you
it was-
kind of hit that. It sounds like a little bit of a roadblock in your growth, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a roadblock. For a couple of reasons, mainly two things. I remember at one point I thought I was going to be doing that for the rest of my life. You know, it was honestly the money was good. You know, you could make a pretty good living off of that.
Do you mind sharing what
But
that
it
looked
didn't-
like?
Yeah, so up until like let's say this year, I was making let's say $115 an hour doing
Okay.
that, and that's a whole lot more than most people could ask for. But as I'm sitting through those lessons, I was thinking, man, they could double this pay, and I still wouldn't want to do this. And that's when I really realized this is not even about the money for me. I stopped feeling an alignment with what I was doing. I felt like I could be doing more. I could utilize my expertise in such better ways. As I'm teaching these kids, I'm thinking about my online academy. I'm thinking about all the jazz stuff and what I really specialize in and what I could really help people with. Because there's a lot of great teachers for kids. And I also taught a bunch of adults, so it wasn't just kids. But the stuff I was teaching was quite like kind of traditional piano, I'd say.
It wasn't really
And-
jazz, the specialization you focus on now, right? It was really just teaching kids how to get good or how to play even piano.
Yeah, like the fundamentals, again, which is great. And I had a couple kids who were interested in jazz and pop and other genres, but mostly it was just fundamentals. And I always knew that there's this gap in jazz education, and just really wanted to fill that gap and be that guy to really, help people with their jazz struggles. Because when I started jazz, which was not that long ago, in like 2020, it was the same thing during COVID, during the lockdown. And having figured out those problems made me realize how common those problems were and how it just seemed easy to me. Like, oh, everyone is struggling with this? Oh, here's the solution. This is it. It's right here. Like, what? Why don't you know this? And so being able to fix problems, that's what really stood out to me versus the in-person teaching, with mostly kids, where it's like, you could find hundreds of other teachers who could teach you this down the street.
It sounds like you really
Yeah.
were, the thing that really appealed to you was the idea of solving these, I'm going to frame it a bit loosely, but higher level problems in jazz piano. Like, I like to think my
Oh, yeah.
world is the world of, I guess you could say, info, online businesses, brands, and it's really your love for really these musical challenges. And that's also how I know you. I think that's also how I've gotten to know you, your expertise in really being able to understand what is going on. The way you even explain music, like I'm going to use the word spread voicing. I don't even know what that means, but the way you break things down, man, I absolutely adore seeing that. So that's really cool. And I think one thing that I really would like to hear from you, and I think people watching this would also be very interested, because you obviously had this period in which you were teaching in person, COVID hit. When did you bring it online for the first time?
Funny enough, I think that was I was doing virtual lessons then, but I don't count that as like
Yeah, let me reframe it. Like when you really started your online coaching business, like because you were doing it in
Yeah.
person because of COVID, right? If I understand that correctly, it was an existing
Yeah.
client base that you brought to teach online just
Exactly.
simply because of the restrictions.
Yeah. Just a different mode of teaching. So it was actually in 2023. Yeah, because my wife and we had bought a house. It was a really funny story. We bought a house, and our realtors, I don't make any big purchases or anything. And all I could think of was, man, I'm about to go broke. I need to make money. So I got desperate. And during that time, I got an ad that popped up on my Instagram saying, hey, if you're a music teacher, and you're stuck in, teaching in person, but you want to make a whole lot more money by teaching online, DM this word, that kind of thing. So I responded. They got me on a call. They sold me. They really got me emotionally. I was in a desperate place. Now when I look back, it was an impulsive decision. But yeah, I dropped $5,000 right on the spot. I did not have $5,000.
So you took a loan?
And I told, no, well, let's put it this way. I had the money, but it was like all of my money.
Yeah, it was your savings essentially, or your life,
Yeah.
your life vest.
Yeah, so I told my wife, and she was just like, what the hell? We're not supposed to spend any money. We just bought a house. Like, we need to make this down payment. I'm like, I calculated, we'll be at a comfortable, like, we got like $50 left. You know,
A comfortable fitty real quick, you know, we got enough for, you know, the groceries and stuff. That's ballsy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did that because I knew I was desperate. I needed to make a change. Like, this is not going to cut it anymore. And the ad, it just showed up at the right
Gotcha.
time, right place. Yeah. And so that's when I started it. And this was in 2022, the end of 2022, because we moved into the house in 2023 in the summer. So the end of 2022, started all that, learning about, you know, the scaling and online info biz. And yeah, from there I could kind of go on. Did you have any questions?
Yeah,
like
more
that?
so like, because I know that this
Specific?
was the coach you told me about before, yeah? So this was kind of the program
Yeah.
you were in before. Because I know that you told me that up until then, you were able to make some money off that, but the journey really wasn't that smooth. So tell me a bit more of what happened from there on, and then we'll get into kind of like what really happened when we started working together and the whole journey that you're at right now. Because there kind of was a period in which you did get some help, but it was also quite difficult to navigate still, right?
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected. I thought I would have a lot more time with the guy who ran it, but you know, you hardly saw him. You saw his other guys, and a lot of it just didn't align with me. Specifically, I couldn't shake off the feeling that they were just trying to take my money. You know, when I did one-on-ones, they would just push it aside. And they had a guarantee in place, like full money back guarantee. But it was one of those like you have to do. These
Oh, it
things.
was the
And
fine print.
It was an impossible list. Literally, it said like you had to show them 500 conversations. You know, all documented and everything. 500 conversations with potential clients. It was crazy. Like I'm sure no one has ever done it because they made it so that
We
it's
don't
not
get
really
any
doable.
refunds. Well, I mean, I wonder why.
Yeah.
I see.
So that, and I made some money off of it. What was I gonna say? Yeah, they had you follow a bunch of scripts. Like, hey, when you're DM
Sales
setting,
scripts, yeah?
Yeah, sales scripts and setting scripts. It was very not personable. I felt like I was just, you know, essentially a call person, right? Like on the phone, the client says this, you say this. And so it was just putting on a face, like I'm just at a job. And it really awkward, especially in the sales calls that we were doing. Like you have the script next to you and you follow this and you follow that.
It's so robotic. There's no life to it. There's no
It's
authenticity
robotic.
behind it, right?
Yeah. And also the questions that they had you say in that scripts, oh man, they were weird. They were icky. They were so clearly like pain inducing in an ingenuine way, you know.
Like hard selling
And-
almost to force someone to buy your offer.
Yeah. And they would get you to, they would teach you how to anchor, but in, again, a really unethical way. Like you get the person to explain their pains, and then when they object, you use those pains against them, you know. Right?
Yeah.
Like if the client says, yeah, I really need money to pay these bills, otherwise they're gonna turn off my lights. And then let's say they object, and you say, well, do you really want to live with the lights off? Like, do you really want your power cut off? You know, like that kind of thing. Oh yeah, and they did it to me, and I didn't know any
it
better.
worked
This was-
because I guess it was an earlier stage in the info space when a lot of this shit was permitted. Because these days, this just doesn't slide anymore. People have been through it and seen it all, and I think it's also you were in that position where, fuck man, I gotta make it work.
Yeah, exactly. They got almost like guilt. I got guilt tripped. Like they made me feel like if I don't do it, then I'm cheating myself. Right? Like, okay, fine, you're right. I gotta do this. That kind of thing. And so after the program was over, yeah, I made my money back. I profited a little bit. After it was over, they got me into it again for another 3 months. And each time the month ended, yeah, it was another one of those calls. They'll straight up start screaming at me.
The fuck?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't think you ever told
Like
me that. What do you mean they screamed at you? What?
I remember like this one guy, he wouldn't, their sales guy, I guess, he wouldn't let me get off the call. He was basically like, dude, like you're getting me frustrated now. Like you obviously you want to do this, but like why aren't you there? You know, like really raising his voice. And when I think about it, I mean, I'm sure in his head it was strategic, and he saw that I was the person who would probably give into it. You know, so sure, fine, and I did, and you know, it was expensive because to do it monthly, it was more expensive than to do like their 3-month program, like renewing their 3-month thing. So I paid Primo because they made these promises like, oh yeah, we're going to get this set up. We got to get this going. We're going to get this set up. You know, yeah, we'll spend more one-on-one, no one-on-ones.
Jeez.
You know, just sending me to their clinics. They had weekly clinics. Like
I hate that word, the clinics.
Yeah, me too.
Sounds like you're
clinics.
a patient.
Yeah, right. And if I didn't join them, they would use that against me. I would ask them a question, be like, well, did you join the clinic? I'm like, no, I have a fucking life to live. You know, I can't just join all your clinics, you know. They're like, well, we talked about it in there. I'm like, hey, you don't even
I'm
like...
asking you. Like, you're the one who's supposed to guide me. Oh, man.
Yeah, so it was, and then they would also have you, like, upload your sales calls, and they'll go over it in the clinics, you know, kind of critique it. And like they would just tear you up, and fair enough.
I mean, the
know,
feedback's.
like,
I mean, sales is sales, but at the end of the day, if it's an approach that is both unethical, it doesn't root with what you're selling. And I think the one thing that's really important to mention here is you mentioned they kind of got you like, hey, if you don't do this, you'll never make money type vibe, right? But in your offer, it's piano coaching. It's people who genuinely want to go deeper into their passion. How do you use pressure sales tactics for people who? You know what I mean? It's like it's such a mismatch as already what it sounds like offer wise as well.
Well, what do you mean?
So like offer-wise, if your offer in this case is targeted at people who want to learn jazz piano, who want to get better at developing their skills, maybe they're not necessarily earning money from it, but they genuinely have a love and a passion for it. Like you can't anchor that way, and it's kind of just like almost being a douchebag in front of people.
Yeah, exactly. So it felt like they were training me to be like them. Right? Yeah. But that I'm helping people who want to learn piano, not helping people who want to, you know, start their business.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. So that went on for a while, and I know that you told me, because originally we spoke last year, October, I think I reached out to you once. We didn't really continue the conversation. I think I left you on red for some reason. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, you left me on red for like 3 months, bro.
I don't know what happened, and I'm so sorry. I went through my DMs, I was like, wait, holy crap, Charlie got back to me. But I know you told me that back then you had a few clients one-on-one, but it wasn't really growing, and you were thinking of this academy, right? So we started working together in, I believe, March of 2025. Run me through kind of like what life looked like before we got started. I'm curious to hear.
What did life look like?
With your business, of course, right? Life, you can tell a little bit about what you was doing in your free time. I'm just messing with you.
I got to keep that information behind closed doors. Well, in business, I had a full studio, you know.
Studio meaning you're in-person teaching, right?
Yeah, in-person teaching. Things were steady, I guess steady enough. But again, always in the back of my mind, something's not right. Something's not in alignment. I could be doing more. And I was still taking on some high-ticket clients every here and there, but I wasn't really pushing hard for it.
I think you had around 20 or like 40K followers-ish on Instagram, right? I remember you did have a decent audience.
Yeah, when I started with you. I think it was around 40... Yeah, maybe around 40, a little under 40.
Wait, real quick, what was your offer rate again for your head-to-get offer?
1,600.
Oh man, we're gonna get to the juice in a bit, and that's crazy looking back at. Okay, so you were offering the 1,600. Yeah. It was a 10-week program too. Yeah, it was a 10-week program as well. So effectively, if your hourly rate was 115, it was like 160 now. So you were already taking a big W there.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was spending a lot of time. I spent a lot of time with my one-on-ones, like outside.
Way
of it,
more than you do now,
videos.
Right?
Yeah, the messaging and making custom videos and that kind of thing, and just responding. So even though it's like we meet 10 times throughout the 10 weeks, it's like 10 hours, I still count all the
you're still spending so much time. So it's not like you were at a place where you had all these in-person clients, or where you were like, I mean, and with all due respect, I get it, because it's not like you don't want to serve your clients, but it's more like, hey, I have more within me. So it's like, damn, this is kind of nagging on my head. At the same time, you're like, how do I bring this further? You really had no clue. I think a few of the goals that I remember you shared with me initially was, okay, I want to get my academy out there. You know, I want to get more people on my program. It really was like, how the F are we going to do this? So before we get into where you're at right now, I want you to just run us through it all. I think one thing I remember is I remember you were quite, I guess the word here, skeptical. I remember we got on a call. You were like, man, they already been telling me how to sell. I already kind of went through this. What made you really take that decision to go, fuck it, man, I'll give it a go? I'm waiting for a compliment here. No, I'm just messing around.
No, I was just gonna do it. No, literally, it was after I got off the sales call with you. I was like, this dude just sold to me in a way that I didn't imagine, selling could be done. And it didn't feel like selling. And it was super, super authentic, super chill. I didn't get those icky vibes of, hey, he's trying to get under my skin or anything like that. You were just being you, talking about what you do. We were vibing,
Yeah, that was a pretty cool call.
And I think it was literally just from that call. And I was like, oh, it could be like this.
You can be a genuine human being without motherfucking making someone feel like shit if they don't pay you.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, so that was kind of what reignited me, like, hey, maybe I could give this another shot, And so, and so we gave it another shot, right?
It's really awesome to see this too, right? Because I remember at the start, I know how skeptical you were, and also in my head, it wasn't even like I gotta sell this guy. Because at the end, I think I was already doing around 30K, so I was like, if I can help this guy, man, I'll be happy. Because I saw what you told me and what you were running through, and in my head, I was like, man, this guy could easily do at least 20K. And because it was like you have the audience for it, you're insanely skilled. I remember one of the questions you asked me at the start was like, man, how the fuck am I gonna sell my offer for more than 1.6K? That was a really fun one. So, let me ask you the big question real quick. Where are we at right now, Charlie? Hit me with it. How was June?
How was June? Well, June, we hit 40K, 40.5, all right? So, almost right on the dot. Yeah, the goal was just to hit 20K. And then after I hit 20K, I remember we were DMing okay, 25K. And they were like, 30, 35, 40? Yeah, it just kept going.
To be fair, I was on holiday too. Mm-hmm. So I was going over there. I was just, with my girl, I was sitting over there. I was like, hey, I'm watching a movie and I see the message come through. I fucking did it. 40.5. And I was like, hey, babe. My man did it. I am so proud. Because I was talking about how your offer launched, how you launched the academy and everything. Man, I'm so proud of you. So run me through what the biggest shifts were, because I know that there was a lot. At the start also, the first thing I remember we did is we really changed your offer structure. We revamped the entire approach to it. And you went from selling a 1.6K high ticket jazz piano offer to selling something that almost no one believes when I say it. Run us through it.
3,500.
3,500 for a high ticket jazz piano coaching. What exactly does that look like? If I were to say, Charlie, I've been wanting to get good at jazz piano. How exactly do you help people now?
Yeah, so it's a 10-week program. You work with me, it's a close mentorship for 10 weeks to get my personal contact, and we are in constant back and forth. We're sending videos back and forth. We're messaging back and forth. It's a lot of customized material.
Love that.
And then we meet once a week. The first session is longer, the roadmap session, 90 minutes. The remaining 9 are an hour long. And basically, we set a goal from the very beginning. And, as a coach, I feel like you do a disservice to your students when you let them set their own goals. They don't know what's good for them. They don't know what they want. You have to show them. So part of what I do now, which is different than before, is that I don't say, hey, whatever you want, I'm going to help you get that. It's more of, hey, what do you want?
My man,
and let me tell you, okay, what do you want? And let me tell you what you should want to actually get to what you want. All right, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like a combo. So I always tell them, hey, this is my agenda as your coach, and we can kind of fuse it with your agenda. But this is truly what's going to get the needle moving for you, And so I think that sets a really important tone of authority.
Well said.
Versus, hey, whatever you want to do, I'll help you. It's no, you don't know what's good for you. You truly don't. And so that's why you're here, right? Because if you knew already, you'd be doing it. But you're coming to me for a reason. So trust me. And along the way, which is a cool thing, it's inevitable that when you learn music or pretty much anything, you get interested in some side quests, right?
Side quests, not the side quests.
Yeah, we got the main mission, okay? So in in boring terms, the main mission is to get them to play through at least 5 to 10 jazz standards, which are just like, your classic jazz songs in, let's say, the right way that sounds like actual jazz. Because you could play these songs and it won't sound like authentic jazz, like how someone would play it.
You're reminding me of when I picked up a piano the first time. I was like 3 years. I just wanted to do it. I like to think I'm quite talented and I'm a pretty good and fast learner. So, hey, you got to give yourself a plug. I mean, I learned how to play her over here. You know what I'm saying? But I remember I was just looking stuff up on the internet going, if I can hypothetically play the exact same keys at the same time with the same tone, it will give the same sound. But that's obviously not the case with jazz piano, especially when it's such a advanced way of playing music too. Or style, I should say, right?
Well, you're not wrong. But it's how do you come up with those notes to press at the time, right?
Exactly.
Because that's a big part of the jazz tradition. Whereas, let's say, if you're playing like classical music or something that's already been arranged, yeah, the notes are there. You literally just press them at the right time, with the right pressure. So some notes are louder than others. Pretty much things that can be quantified, like objectively.
Yeah.
But when it comes to jazz, and there's no arrangement in front of you, you kind of have to come up with the arrangement yourself. So you have to truly understand the language. And the best way I could think of it, it's like freestyle rapping, right? Let's say someone.
I never thought of it like that, but it
like,
makes a lot of sense. Why would you say a certain word in a certain pattern within a certain structure? The why is really important, basically.
Yeah. Because it's like if someone said, hey, throw down a freestyle rap in a language you don't know. Like, where do you even start? You have to learn how to speak that language. You have to learn the slang, the different dialects and all that, and wordplay, So it's a whole lot. And jazz is its own language. And so we need to treat it that way. And so you're basically learning a whole another language. So just imagine, learning French.
Yeah, exactly. But then, of course, from the perspective of through music, right? I love your explanation of this, man. It's like, I get so excited talking to you in a fun way because it's like I nerd out like this in my field and you're doing the exact, you're just going off of it and I absolutely love it, man. So it's cool to see how you were able to build this up. And I think one thing that I want to ask here is before, when you were selling the $1,600 offer, it sounded like that was a different approach you were using in and of itself, right?
Yeah. So the 1,600, and earlier you asked like, what were the main issues, from, I think this is just life. It's always in your head. It starts in your head. So the main issue for me that was in my head was that I didn't believe in myself that much, because I guess I was still a little early into my jazz journey. Not also that, just some part of me just, I guess, now when looking back in retrospect, just didn't feel like I deserved.
I know we worked on that a lot
better.
when we were doing this together. I think there was a lot of moments where it's like, Charlie, I need you to look at yourself, man, and go, you deserve this. Because it was every much so the case. I think just before our call, we were yapping about it a little bit too. But it's funny, right? A lot of the times when I work with my clients, it's focus on your inner world, how you see yourself. Because, well, the universe looks at you the way you look at yourself.
Oh, yeah. Nero.
Shout out Nero Knowledge, by the way, my man. But, yeah, man. So I think now's a good time to segue into it. Like, we'll go into a little bit of the details of how that journey unfolded. But really run me through those challenges. I know you said one part of it was the inner, you kind of like not believing in yourself, not seeing yourself as the person who would make it happen. I think another problem was also kind of like the offer, figuring out how to do it right. Is there anything else that was really hard for you to navigate that we were able to solve?
Let's see. I mean, I think, okay, so the main thing is the mental. The second thing is learning the new skill. I mean, well, just sharpening the skill of all the time spent DMing, talking to people.
Selling is a big part of it.
Yeah, we went back and forth a lot about that. Is because I'm always trying to, give people the best responses I can, really nail everything. Because I've always kind of been a little bit of a perfectionist, and so I can easily get overwhelmed when I have a lot of people I'm talking to, keeping up with 20 conversations at once, trying to give them each the best of me. Sometimes I'm sitting on, one response for like 5 minutes. I'm like, what am I doing? I want to make sure, again, always trying to give people the best that I can. But then, after a certain time, you realize you It doesn't work out so well that way. You give them the best you can, knowing that it's not going to be perfect. I might, let me give you an example. Like, for example, sometimes I'll be responding to someone, I'll read their message, and then I want to respond best way. So I go back to the very beginning of our conversation. I read through everything again. To literally let me make sure I summarize everything and I don't leave anything out so they don't think I'm just skimming through. I want them to really know I'm reading this. But now it's like, I can't do that to that extent anymore.
Totally.
Not because I'm not trying to give them my best, but a lot of it is unnecessary. Again, it goes back to the mindset. It's because I'm worried that someone's going to think that, I'm not giving them the best that I can. Even though that's not true, I'm kind of just rambling at this point.
No, I totally hear what you're saying, though, because one of the biggest challenges is really like, how do I actually sell this to people? How do I sell my offer? How do I even get moving? I think a cool thing to ask you in the meantime, and now that we're kind of going into the depths of it, is like, what are the biggest shifts that you really were able to make in these, I guess you could say, 4 months working together? Because, hey, going from essentially not having any consistent basis to 40K a month is a big journey. And I mean, in and of itself, that's probably a few hours of just breaking every single thing down. But if you could summarize that, what are the biggest shifts we've gone through together? And really in you, I think that's an important question.
The biggest shift, I mean, just keep saying, in the head, right? In the mind. If we could talk about business-wise, the ecosystem, I'd say so.
Love that. Yeah.
Really dialing in the ecosystem was a big, business shift, and really paying attention to it and staying consistent with it.
Could you give us a bit of context of what you mean by your ecosystem in that sense? I know that before we started, you just had your Instagram, you had a few YouTube videos, but there's something that we did in the middle that completely shifted the entire journey for you. I think it's cool to highlight that.
Yeah, so if I could think of like everything we did, basically just setting up your profiles on social media, mostly Instagram, so that when people enter, they know what's up. They know what you're about. They're not left hanging with any questions, So having all those highlights, highlighting testimonials and student wins, things like that. And then, having your bio really dialed in with your offer, having all those things clear. You even made me change my profile picture. You didn't like my profile picture.
Sorry, I had to say it, man. You got that beautiful smile. You got that energy, man. Back then it was just a photo of you sitting next to a piano. I was like, Charlie, we can give people an even stronger impression, because it's true. The impression you give to people, it lasts. And I like to think in a way, well, no, quite literally, you are one of the most vivid, lively examples, quite literally, of the Imminent Growth Protocol I keep yapping about with you, which is the 7-step method that we follow. But it really is, because what we started off with when we worked on, I looked at your business and went, okay, your offer's pretty much lacking. There's no clear, tangible outcome out of this. And I remember you were like, Vince, the fuck you talking about with a tangible outcome? What tangible outcome can I give a person through Jazz Piano? But we're able to dial that in, because every single person who's working with you now, they know exactly what they can expect working with you. We found an offer that was super valuable to your audience. From there on, we optimized your entire ecosystem, your profile, your brand, your messaging. You're no longer speaking to randoms. You know exactly what type of audience you're speaking to. From there on, we built your Instagram and your YouTube. About that, more on YouTube soon. We started getting traffic to your page. You already got a lot of traffic. I remember one of the things we were facing early on, you were like, Vince, I remember back in the early days of when you were getting your first few high-ticket sales, like, man, I'm getting all these people from Africa, man, all these people who have no money to buy, all these people who just want free advice from me. We're able to dial that down and nurture them and eventually convert and close. I know you were able to grow fast with your high-ticket offer, but I think one thing to really mention is your dream was always to build out the academy, and last month that came into fruition. So tell us a little bit about how that shift came, what you were able to build with the academy, and really what that looked like, because there was a YouTube video you posted that kind of just blew off from there.
Yeah. So it's funny because that YouTube video, you kept telling me I need to make it, and I put it.
I was roasting this man straight up for a month, going, Charlie, this is only you, man. Like, I'm just saying, bro, you bottlenecking right now. I had to give you the tough love for a second. I remember you're like, Vince, but the video doesn't feel too good. I think I need to remake it, and then you posted it.
Yeah. You kept saying, hey, the evergreen video, you gotta make the evergreen video. And you gave me like 5 examples of other people's evergreen videos and your own. And here's another thing I got better at, because yours was crazy. Yours was so edited, like it was so professional, high level stuff. And I was like, man, I gotta get better at this. And then you kept saying, hey, the evergreen video, you gotta make the evergreen video. And you gave me like 5 examples of other people's evergreen videos and your own. And here's another thing I got better at, because yours was crazy. Yours was so edited, like it was so professional, high level stuff. And I knew, hey, don't get distracted. Don't
Yeah.
get distracted by the sprinkles on the cake.
Exactly.
Just make your cake. You could get the sprinkles and frosting another day, another year, whatever. So then I said, okay, I need to do this. I need to make this happen. Because I needed to get the course, the academy going.
Yeah.
And so all these things were in my head. I knew they had to connect somehow. So I was like, okay, let's make this video. But in the video, I'm going to be talking about how I'm going to, cover the topics in the video. Yeah, how I'm going to help people. And the academy is one of those ways. So I knew, okay, once I post this video, people are going to be interested in the academy. I need to have the academy ready. Because I was already working on the academy too, but it's just so much fucking work. Oh my goodness, making these.
And
courses.
I remember you were like, man, I got to get the academy ready first, then I'm going to sell it. And I was like, Charlie, no, we're not going to do that. Sell first, ship later.
Yeah.
Because how are we gonna spend hours prepping a course when there's absolutely no demand for it? And I think that was also one of your biggest concerns, like Vince. But why would people buy my academy? Like, why would anyone ever drop a few $100 on it? I remember you were telling me also about people within your niche, other pianists, jazz teacher, or not necessarily jazz pianists, but other pianists out there who are teaching. And you're like, and their courses aren't even that much, or they're more. How do I even get about it? And yeah, that really shifted the moment you put that out there, right?
Yeah, because I always had the idea that the course would be ever growing. I just wanted to build it out enough to feel like I'm giving people what they're paying for.
Exactly.
I guess figuring that out is always the hardest part, right? Because there's no answer. You just have
Quite
to
honestly,
take something and go with it.
there's not a single person who could tell you this is the exact price something needs to be at. There is no way to determine that other than determining your own worth, knowing exactly what problem you're solving, the pain that it causes, and being able to reflect it in a way that truly makes sense for a number that someone's paying to it. Because at the end of the day, all numbers are arbitrary if you really think about it.
Yeah. So no, totally. What I was referring to was knowing how much material in the course
my bad. Yeah, I totally get you.
before I feel comfortable with releasing it, And so, but I knew, hey, if I keep thinking about that, it's going to be never, because I'm never going to feel good enough. Because again, I've always been the type where I overgive, And so even my in-person lessons, I always go over in the lessons, and then my whole day gets pushed back because now everyone's going a little over, right?
Oh yeah, I know those.
Yeah, I'm an overgiver, But then I thought, okay, if I put out this YouTube video, I talk about the academy, I have to release it wherever it's at, And so, I put out that video, the Jazz Morphology Matrix.
Jazz Morphology Matrix. My guy was like, bro, I even watched that video. I was like, well fucking done, Charlie. My man, he really nailed it.
Man, it felt so bad, too.
I remember you were like, fuck this video. I don't even like it.
I'll tell you, I won't forget. I made it. And then I looked it over and I was like, this is trash. And then for the next 4 days, I started doing, what do you call it? Productive procrastination. I knew I had to remake that video. So for the next 4 days, I just started doing random shit around the house and all these other things because I was dreading remaking it.
I'm so happy that you're sharing this to put the perspective out there, what it really is like, because it really is like that. I know it is. I've had it too, bro. The amount of times, like, should I post it? Should I do it? Could I do it? And that really comes together with yourself not giving yourself the permission to really put it out there, to believe in yourself.
Yeah. To believe in yourself and also know that, again, you did your best. This is good. I mean, whether it's good or not, that's still a question. If it's good, if it helps people, then it's good. That's like kind of my gauge. It's like I don't know if it's gonna be good until I put it out and see how people respond to it. But I'll never forget those 4 days where I'm just like, oh my god, I need to remake that video tonight, and then I get busy that night. Okay, tomorrow. Okay, and it's on my head, the back of my head, just stabbing me, man. And then I watched it over again. I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. Fuck it. Let's post this, man. Let's get this over with. Let's just post it. And then I post it. And I think overnight it got like 5,000 to 10,000 views. And then within a week, it went up to like 40. I think right now it's sitting at 70,000 views.
You're like
3 weeks?
68,000, 3 weeks. My guy grew by at least 5,000 subscribers And the best
Yeah.
part that I do want to highlight about this is that the purpose of this was never virality, unironically, because when Charlie and I were strategizing it, the whole purpose of this was, and let's do it from a theoretical perspective, you all have probably heard me nerd out about this a lot, it's in order to sell any offer, there needs to be 3 prerequisites that you ever need to match up to. And I like to refer to this in any scenario, no matter what info business, even if it's a agency style offer, it doesn't really matter, right? First of all, you need to have a yes to the outcome. It needs to be clear what you're helping someone solve. You need to have a yes to you, because if people don't like you and they don't resonate with you, well, it's going to be very hard to convince them to work with you. Keyword convince there, right? And the last one is the method. The method of what exactly are you going to do? And I remember, Charlie, before we released this video, before we really went all in with your ecosystem, because this is kind of like the ecosystem graduation point. It's kind of like when I went from, I guess you could say, university, all right, now we're heading out in the world. A lot of your calls were still not convincing, but a lot of people weren't familiar with your method. They didn't really know what you did. So we built this video with one purpose. Let's show the world exactly what Charlie has achieved, what he can help them with, and the fact that he is out there. And exactly your morphology matrix, your jazz morphology matrix, JMM, abbreviated by myself, the JMM, that really was the icing on the cake. Because you posted that video thinking, nah, this is trash, and it blew up. 68K views. The idea wasn't even to go viral, but there was such a big need in the market for what you did.
Yeah, it's the attention it grabbed. It was really cool. People were coming straight to my Instagram from it.
So many qualified too. That's the best part, isn't it?
Yeah. Very qualified. But yeah, that was the goal. It was just to show, people what I'm about, right? More my method. And that morphology matrix was what I was doing in all of my sales calls anyway. So, and it was funny because I actually didn't want to make the video about that, because I almost wanted it to be like my secret weapon, right? Like I get
wanted to do
this.
He wanted to do that. I'm gonna keep it a secret until you get on my call.
Yeah.
It's a very common practice. People want to hide their best information, right?
Yeah. And then I totally realized, why hide my best information? Because that's gonna prevent me from growing. Exactly. Let me give my best out there, so I have to come up with better.
That's a very good way to frame it.
Yeah, just because my best information's out there, it doesn't mean people are going to know how to exactly use it and apply it, It's like, I forgot, it's like a quote or a saying. Like I could show, let's say Gordon Ramsay could show you all of his methods, but you still won't be able to be him. Like he's not Gordon Ramsay.
This isn't the teach a man how to fish type quote, right? That's not the one you were going for, right?
No.
Am I going the wrong? No, but I know what you mean. At the end of the day,
like
it's about being Gordon Ramsay in the thought process, in the flow, in every single step that in and of itself results into almost always the best food in a way, right? Not literally physically being them, but being able to.
I'm still not. It's like I'm not afraid of sharing my secrets. How can I say this? It might sound a little almost like, let's say part of it is like I didn't want other
right, you didn't want other coaches
to see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And they're gonna use my thing. But then I thought, man, you could use my thing and you're still not gonna win the way that I'm winning. I'm not afraid of sharing my secrets.
Beautiful.
Right? Because it's not those secrets that make me. That's not it. So again, it's just funny when I see other people like, oh no, don't share your secrets. This is how I do it. I don't tell anybody. It's like, because you're afraid that that's all you are is that secret. If someone else knew it, they could do this. They could do the same exact thing as you. Then it's not even that unique anymore, right?
Very well said.
So now I'm just like, have all my secrets, and that's what teaching essentially is. Like. I'm a human. The next thing is I'm not even a pianist. I'm a teacher. And then, musician maybe be like the 5th or 6th thing on the list. I'm a human. I'm a teacher. I'm a friend. I'm a husband. I'm all those things. Musician, it's not, when you're young, you identify as the thing you do.
Exactly. Well said.
I'm still young. But anyway,
he just disclaimer. I'm still young. He just had to put that out there in case y'all thought he wasn't. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Look at his youth,
Nah, man.
But part of teaching, or at least good teaching, is that you give away your secrets. You're supposed to. You're supposed to share the things that got you from point A to point B the quickest. You don't gatekeep that stuff. You want to speed people up in their process.
That's the whole reason you're even doing this in the first place, to have them win in that sense, right? And I love how you're describing it as well, because it really just, in a way, it's almost like the whole thesis that I ran with you before I really solidified it as what I call now my model, the Imminence Growth Protocol. It's like, that's the whole point. Build that ecosystem so well that people understand all the value they get from you. But at the end of the day, who else are you going to go to for that help? There's a billion people out there, and really, if the 3 S's are the outcome, the method, and you, everyone can have the same method. In fact, if you take a big look at the coaching space right now, it is a circle fucking jerk of the same methods.
Oh, yeah.
But the person you always end up working with is the person who you genuinely believe can help you. It's like, you also started at this call. You were like, hey, you've been coached before, but the one thing that made the difference to make you even consider doing this, working together, it's, if Vincent could do that, is that really possible for me? So you went and you did it. You really applied everything. And again, man, props to you for really going out there and doing it. I remember there were moments where you even, man, fuck this shit. I don't know if I want to be. There were moments like that as well. That's part of the journey. But you pushed through and it happened. Go ahead.
Yeah, there was those tough moments. And there's something I haven't shared with you, all right? But everyone's going to get to hear this for the first time. It's, look, oh, man.
I hope
this is not unhinged.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, it is a little bit.
Okay, hit me.
There was a moment where I resented you, bro.
Really?
But it didn't last long because...
What was it for?
Okay, I'm going to tell you why. I think it was I was already in a state of overwhelm. Okay, I was so overwhelmed, so many DMs, so many this and that, and we had got off a call or something. Or maybe it wasn't even after we got off a call. It was just in the middle of a week. And I just thinking, man, this is not for me. This dude Vincent
I remember when. I remember when. I still remember. There was a week when I know it was kind of like you were nearing your limit.
Yeah. And I was like, man, this dude Vince is making this all sound so easy. You know, he's saying if he can do it, I can do it. He's making it sound easy, but he doesn't know he's just talented. You know, he's just naturally talented. And he's and he's trying to get me to do this thing and reach his do what he's doing. But he doesn't understand me. He doesn't actually know me. He doesn't know the music space. You know, it's different what I'm doing. He's coaching other coaches how to do it exactly what he does, right? But I'm coaching people who are trying to get better at piano. It's different. He doesn't get that. And but it was, of course, it wasn't you. That was just me finding, it was just that weakness in me finding something to project onto. And it just kept going back to, this. I don't think this is gonna work out.
That lack of self-belief, right?
Yeah, I gave it a shot. This was during our first 3 months, I think.
Yeah, I remember that.
Before we renewed. Yeah, and so I was like, yeah, he doesn't really get me. But it was mainly the idea of, man, he's making it sound so easy, but he just doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He's just talented, So there was a moment of that. It didn't last very long. If this was me like 10 years ago, yeah, I would have hated you for a year. But it was like maybe a day or two. And I told my wife, and I was like, yeah, this is not it. And that was a combination of the overwhelm and all that. But then, of course, I woke up from it. And eventually I was like, oh, man, I was really in the fog. Like, this dude is just trying to help me. He's doing the best he can. What the hell am I thinking? I'm fucking stupid.
It's so funny because I remember there was that period. And then a week later, my man went, I closed. That was how it went, right? I remember that. And suddenly you were completely 180'd. And it's kind of funny, right? Because there's like this, they call it the hockey stick effect. All the efforts you put in now, you don't always see the results from them.
Oh, yeah.
Persevere just a little longer. It's like that story of the guy who was digging for gold. He stopped in the middle, he gave up, and then 5 centimeters down, there was the entire batch of gold waiting for him. And you pushed through.
Yeah. It's also like a bamboo tree. You know how bamboo trees work?
No, tell me, please. I need to know this.
I think other people probably want to know this too. Yeah. They stay underground, I think it's for months and months, and then they grow their full length in like a few weeks or something.
I did not know that. Okay, that's fascinating.
Yeah. And so there's like disproportionate, the time that it's brewing versus the time where it really all comes out.
And I'm curious actually, because what made you shift that inner mentality? Because there was indeed that moment. I refer to it often like a little bit of a semi like victim mentality for like, yeah.
It is. It's exactly what it is. It's a bitch mentality.
I didn't want to say it out loud like that, but you know, if you're gonna do that to you, I mean, that ain't my words, you know. But what made you shift that? Like, what was the change? Because you could have easily gone down that path, and it would be easy to blame even me for it, right, or even yourself for it. What made you shift that?
I don't know. I couldn't answer that. I think it's a couple, because I think it's so many things, right? I still wanted to make a change.
Beautiful.
And I think I gave myself a little bit of time off. There was like a week where I was just like, did like nothing. So I needed to breathe, step away. I think that was the main thing, actually. Just stepping away for a little bit, just calming down a little bit, which got my mind a little clear again. Because, you know, I can grind. I can really grind. And sometimes I don't know when to stop. Until
I know that
my body
feeling,
forces me to.
Going on and on and on, and before you realize it, you're kind of like, you can't even see the forest through the trees at that point, right?
Yeah. So I think it's just taking some time and then reevaluating. Okay, do I really want the results from this?
Mm-hmm.
No, yes. Have I really maximized my efforts? No. Right? Could I optimize my methods? Yes. So it's like, okay.
Gonna listen what your boy Vinny told you? Yes. No, for sure, man. I get to say this now. No. But I'm really happy that you highlighted that and shared that part of the journey, because it's true. Like, a lot of people make it seem easy. And at the end of the day, there's no point in me overcomplicating things for you, because it's almost like if you hear it overcomplicated, it's like, oh, that's why it's so hard. When in reality, it's not doing more. It's doing more of the right things, which actually is a lot less. Like, if you think about it, that one YouTube video, that one thing that you really just put your heart and soul into, even though you didn't think was great at first, but the fact that it was crafted and formulated from the exact frame that we knew, and I keyword knew here, because I absolutely knew that would work regardless. The fact that it blew up, that was just kind of like a chance factor, right? But I knew that with that thing going out there, your entire ecosystem would change. Since then, focusing on the right story frames, the right conversations, getting the right people on calls, and just a few weeks later, and unironically, a few weeks later, you went from 10K with the online coaching to 35K in total, I think, in June, if you really count all the conversions.
Yeah, so between the coaching and the academy, I think it was like 33. Because the other 7 is still from my in-person teaching. I can give you an exact number.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, so 20, 30, yeah, 35. Yeah, 35.
He's looking at it going, damn, that's crazy. Damn. I love that, man. Hey, I think this is a really important question. How does it really feel, Charlie? Because, like, I mean, it's one thing when I'm on a call with you telling you, Charlie, we can do this, we can hit that 20K a month. And now you're sitting out there feeling it. I know there's a lot. It's not just the excitement. So please share us a little bit more of really what goes behind it, if you're also open to that.
Oh, yeah. How am I feeling? Oh, man. Like, about time. This is about time. Like, honestly, I'm not like, oh, my God, you know, I got money. It's not even about that. It's really, I can't stop thinking about the value, because now I've completely... This is the last month of my in-person studio. It's official. It's so fucking scary to not have a consistent thing going. But at the same time, I'm thinking, okay, I've made enough money now to survive the rest of this year, like how I normally would. Actually, I've made more this year already than all of last year. You know, so it's like, okay, I have a cushion to really double down on this online stuff. So that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not even like, oh my God, I had a 40K month. It's more like, okay, now I have a bigger responsibility, you know, and I have the cushion to take on the new role, not even a new role, but to double down on an existing role of my online presence. So yeah, that's all I'm thinking about now is how do I continue this and how do I make it better? And I got a couple months to really get my shit together, you know, as scary as it is. But yeah, that's all I'm thinking about. I'm not even thinking about the money. I'm not like going to go blow it or I don't care about any of that stuff. I might, you know, get a couple more sushi dinners in.
Hey, man, rightfully so. Go enjoy that food, man. You worked for it and you deserve it. But I'm happy that it's also so cool because, like, also the other day we were just highlighting the next steps, the roadmap for it. And Like you also said, it's either fuck, what do I do now, or hey, I know this worked. I know we'll focus. And you got me in your back pocket, like your personal Pokemon just swimming around. All right, Charlie, let's do this right now. It's like you know exactly what steps to take. The path is so clear. And quite honest, if you could hit 41s, then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you do it once, you know, I know I could do it again.
It's beautiful.
But yeah, it's funny because again, if I look back, me 10 years ago, I might have just been like, oh my goodness, all this money, what am I going to do? But being where I am now in life, it's more like, it's like getting an investment, you know, from, I don't know, someone invested in you, or invested in my business. And now I really had to prove to them.
Yeah,
that
now it's time to. Yeah, and it's also really the case. If people buy into your offer, if they decide to work.
Oh, yeah. That's funny. So that's literally what it is. You know, people invested into my academy.
No, you got to do the
see
best to make it the best thing ever.
Yeah, you know, so now I feel like I owe it to them, and I'm so happy to do that
Yeah,
because
that's amazing.
that's what I do. I'm a teacher, you know.
It's amazing,
And
man.
so yeah, that's all I'm thinking about, man. How am I gonna continue this and make it better, and just see where the hell this goes, and just maximize my reach, get people playing jazz, man.
That's awesome. I think a really cool question I have for you is, what was your favorite part of working together?
My favorite part, I think I've told you, it's just the one-on-ones.
Oh yeah, man.
It's truly the one-on-ones. It's such a human thing. I think it's, for me at least, it's so necessary. I guess because I don't know how to say this. Well, it's really true that, you know, they say you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with, right? And so I don't really have much of that around me. The people that I really want to be like, or, you know, have the same skills as, especially if we want to really niche down. Like, no, but I don't know anyone who's running an info business, you know, at least not an online info business. I know a bunch of other piano teachers. Those are essentially info businesses, right?
If you think about it, but from a perspective of doing it online, for sure, that's a different niche in and of itself, right?
Totally different beast. And then, yeah, it's just being around that. And maybe there are people out there who don't need that, and they know what they want, and they could just somehow get it done without having to be around other people who are doing it. But I know for myself, the vibes, the energy is just so contagious. Every time we're on a call, I'm like, oh yeah, we're in this together. We're doing this. And then when it's just me, it's like that doubt, that skepticism seeps back in, you know, like, can this be done? Will I do this? You know, so the one-on-ones is undoubtedly the most important, even if we just kind of just bullshit for a little bit.
I mean, it's part of it, right? Like, there's never been a one-on-one call I've ever been on anyone, but with you particularly, where it's not just a good 5 minutes of solid laughter and joy. That's the best part of it.
Oh yeah, totally. And I have a group of friends here who are doing really well for themselves. I have a buddy who sells motorcycle. He manufactures motorcycle parts. He just closed a $65K month, you know, and he's been doing this for over a decade. And so we hang out. We've been putting in the effort to hang out every single week, and have this other buddy who's really big in investments. You know, his portfolio's like in the 7 figures. And so just being around those people who are doing these big things and winning in life is so important. But with you, not only are you winning, but we're doing essentially the same thing in info business, you know? So it's like just that combination of all those things. It's really important, I think, for me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, man, for sure. I think one thing that I want to, before we round off, just a few small things I want to touch base on. I think one thing you told me also is that there are quite a few people in the space, you know, who have large audiences, who have monetized, but like, when you take a look at where you're at, you don't have the craziest 1 million audience, and yet you're pulling numbers that are far beyond it. Did you ever imagine that was possible? And could you tell us a little bit about that?
No, I never thought far enough to imagine what was possible or not, you know? Like, I never explored that route of thought. It was always an unknown. So there was a guy I was talking to, really, really cool, talented dude who shared with me some of his numbers. He has a following of he has like 500,000 followers. All right, 500,000. I'm like, man.
Nah, you gotta be. This man is
He's got to be pulling, he's got to be raking in some cash. And he has a course. And I asked him how much he makes from his course. And he's like, oh, it's a really good passive income. In the last 2 years, I made $20K from it. Right? And so I didn't think of anything of it because I didn't have anything to compare it to. I'm like, okay, so if I make my course, it brings me an extra $10K a year. Fine. Sure. I'll take it. Then I launched my course. Man, we did $20K in 13 days. And not even to compare or anything, but just to know like what's possible. And so I looked around and I thought, okay, why? How did I hit this? Why is he not hitting this? And, it's a lot of things that we've talked and worked on, this ecosystem, right? Making it clear what you're offering, not only on your, on your profile, but in your content, and making those stories really, because, I think a lot of, when it comes to sales, it can feel icky to Huh?
Everyone underestimates it also, like when it comes to stories. It's so like underestimated.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Selling.
Yeah, no one's going to care. It's going to annoy people. And sure, it might for some, but for some others, it's really what they needed to see. And especially for me, as a lot of artists, musicians, we feel icky.
Oh, yeah, creatives. As a former creative, well, I guess creative by heart myself. I mean, I design my tattoos and all the creative work I did in the past. It's like selling feels like you're selling your soul almost.
Yeah, right?
It's so
like,
fun.
It feels so like unrighteous, right? Like this is wrong. I shouldn't sell myself. But if I didn't sell myself, I wouldn't have been able to help all the people I've helped. They wouldn't have known about me,
And I think an important thing to add to that is, Charlie, and I'm curious how you feel about this, right? Because I say this to everyone, I don't sell, I serve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's totally
I don't even think
how
you don't even sell these days. You're just on there like, hey man, how can I truly help you?
Yeah, so that was one of the biggest differences between how I do calls now and before. Is before I was taught to sell. Get under their skin, do all that. But these days, oh man, we're just hanging out on the call, especially now that I have my YouTube video up, my ecosystem dialed in. They know what I'm about. I don't need to convince them anymore. They get on the call because not because they're curious about what I'm about, but it's almost like they're good leads. They're ready to go. They just really want to dial in the details and confirm some things. And funny enough, one of the calls I had like a week or two ago, from the very beginning, the dude is just like, hey, I want to work with you, whatever it costs. He didn't say it exactly like that.
Yeah, but that's what it came down to.
That's what it came down to. So when I was going through my whole spiel, like, hey, here's what the program looks like, this and that, he's like, yeah, whatever.
He was upset with you even showing him all. He was like, just take the money.
Yeah, he was pretty much like, why are you wasting our time? And then I get to the cost. He's like, okay. Like,
in the back of your head, you was like, fuck. I should have asked this man more. Now I'm just messing with you, but that's amazing to see. That's the power of simply. It's so simple. And I mean, it's simple. It's not easy. I always say that, right? But just having an ecosystem that actually is valuable, that actually is real to you. Because I mean, of course, what you do is like impressive. But like you said, anyone else could copy your method. They're not gonna get that effect that you have, Charlie. Mm-hmm. And that's a big mad props to you, bro. Because that's who you are, and no one else can do that. Other than you.
I appreciate the love, man.
For sure, man. So now that we've hit 40K, obviously the steps are to make the academy bigger and go further. What are your actual next steps? I mean, I don't know if you've thought it so far. I know that it's like, oh shit, this just happened. Fuck, this is a new world. So what are your next steps for next 2-3 months, or maybe until the end of the year?
Yeah, so it is so true that after a high like this, I just kind of feel lost, even though I have I know what I want. It's just like, whoa, this all just happened. Okay, what now? But my steps, well, just gonna continue building out my content, right? Being more consistent now that I'm gonna have a lot more time to do that, and my energy won't be drained from doing things that aren't in alignment with me, which is 100%. Like my in-person teaching. So I'm gonna dedicate pretty much all my time to making the best content that I can and continue building out the academy, The academy, I'm working on that literally like every day. It's funny because I post inside the academy frequent updates because I'm always still
you're always scheming something in there, right? Like building something up.
Oh no, that's that. But I'm always also worried that someone's gonna think that I'm not gonna follow through with it. It's just that self-sabotage. Like,
Yeah,
I
and
need to
that's
let them
still a
know.
part of you that you're working also on, like lifting, right?
Yeah. But it's not the worst form of self-sabotage, I don't think, because I really want people to know that, hey, I'm really gonna do this for you. I didn't just
100%.
get you in to take your money and then bounce. I'm so excited to do this, but it takes long, and I put myself in their shoes. If they're waiting for something to drop and I'm making all these promises, I will be wondering too. So I make all these frequent updates in there, like, hey, so this course is going this way, and I'll get specific, and this part of it, I have to just redo all these because I
Yeah.
just realized this and that, so it's really cool. It's really personable, and they're all
I want to add
involved.
something to it because I remember, and I think this is a really cool thing to look back on. And it's really cool that even on this call, I mean, hey, technically it's a podcast, but like that, we even can reflect on this, right? Because I remember the number one thing you told me when we got started is, man, I just want to create. I remember you told me that, and my man's literally over here like, what am I gonna create today?
Exactly. It's just gonna create and create
amazing,
and create. And the coolest thing is, we have like 70 people in the academy now.
Hell yeah, man. Congrats.
Even when I got the first one, I was like, oh my goodness,
Someone
got
wants
one
this.
guy in my academy. Somebody wants this. Oh my gosh. And he loved it. He sent me messages like, he's like, wow, this is, like nothing, no other course. But what was I saying? To create, yeah. And also knowing I have that audience there who's going to consume all that. They're all going to grow from that. That is so cool. Just knowing that I could be out getting boba and someone is learning from my material.
Like I had to specify boba there real quick. You gotta let the Asians know.
Oh yeah,
love that.
So yeah,
man.
so my plan is to continue building out the academy. That's something I wanted to do for over 10 years.
So happy
Just
we're able to get to do that together, man. That's such a cool thing. Thank you so much for including me in that.
Oh, of course, man. Well, thank you for all your help, man.
For sure.
But literally 10 years, because one of my college professors, he believed in me too. Even when I was in college, I hated myself, man. Hated myself.
I know
but
that
he was like,
feeling,
dude. Oh yeah, I know. We talked about all that.
It was a dark past, eh? But yeah, man.
But that professor, he was actually the director of the entire arts college at the university. But we became good friends. We just hit it off. And he's the dean of a different university now in Kansas. But he was the one. He was like, dude, you need to make a course.
Did you hit him up and tell him that you did this already?
Oh yeah, we had a call. Yeah.
What did he say?
We had a 30-minute Zoom call, and he's not surprised. But
I love that. He's like, of course, Charlie, the fuck I've been telling you.
I was like, dude, man, I know your voice never left my head. You've always told me I needed to do this. You always believed in me. 10 years later, I'm doing it, dude. I'm doing it. I just launched this course. And he was like, hey, we got to get on a call. Let's catch up. So we get on a call, and, I spill all the details. And he's like, man, I totally respect everything you're doing to such a high level. And it was just so awesome hearing that, because I've always seen him as like my dad.
That's amazing.
He was pretty much my dad throughout my time at the university. He was a type of professor you could just call at 12 a.m. because you're sad about something, and he would talk to me.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he was, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I called him to let him know too. So it was really cool to be able to do that. To go tell someone who believed in you that you did the thing that they were telling you to do. You finally did. It's like you closed this gap.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah,
man.
so
thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, man, see where this thing goes. Keep building it out. It's finally happening. If anything, I'm more excited about that than the 40K month. It's like I have this academy. I have my community. People are coming in. They're saying hi. They're introducing themselves. They're from all over the world. Like, oh man, that touches my heart in such a unique
and this makes me very happy as well, man, because that's the whole point of this, right? I always say this, you get rewarded in life when you do the right things. You don't get paid. It's a reward simply for being you. Because quite honestly, Charlie, you're just being you, man. I know when I close my eyes at night, I'm like, yeah, Charlie just being Charlie. I go to bed, I'm like, I'm at peace, knowing.
Man, you go to bed dreaming about me? Come on, man.
Sometimes I gotta think about my man doing his work, getting out there, man. Dude, seriously, I'm so proud. Like, I swear when I say I'm proud of my students or like my clients, like, I genuinely am so proud to hear all the wins. I'm like, literally that night when you told me, man, I did it, I was just literally so fulfilled. I was like, that's like almost like a father crying about his son. I was so happy with it. I'm not even kidding or glazing, man, because it's like, I know that's everything you've ever wanted, and man, that was a both for me and for you. I know, like, in a way, it was a real, but almost a surreal moment, because it's like, this is everything we've been working on. So, yeah, man, that's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing this. I have one final question for you, a fun one. There's a lot of coaches out there who are looking for help, seeking for. There's a lot of skepticism in the market. A lot of people going, what the fuck do I do? How do I go it? Do you have any recommendation for anyone else out there who's potentially thinking of working with me or really doing this? What would you say to them?
Like, if they wanted to work with you, you're saying? I'd say, this guy Vince might look good on the surface. No, man, dude, you've been amazing, dude. Like, honestly, I couldn't. Like, how do I don't want to glaze you, okay? We're not gonna get too glazy after. It feels like we're just bros.
It's always been like that.
Like, you've always had that bro vibe, which works great for me, and I don't see why it wouldn't work great for anyone else. You're very personable, especially how you view things holistically. It's not just, hey, you have a business problem? Well, let's fix the business problem. You look at the whole mindset behind it, how to approach the thinking behind it all. Which I know it's again, like, it always goes back to, it all starts in your head, right? And you approach it that way instead of, again, like my first coaches, where it was, oh, you have this problem, then do this. And it's like, you can't just do that. You got to rewire shit in here in order to do that, and you're just being there and being really responsive as well. I'm just talking about features. It's just overall, like, I mean, of course, the feature is all great. No complaints anywhere, really. One thing I really, really appreciate is that you're not a participation trophy type person. Like, just because I put in the work, you're not going to say, hey, good job, you did the work. You'll say, hey, I know you did the work, but what kind of fucking work was that? And I remember that.
Yeah, true.
It was for my ad, the video ad on my Instagram. I put so much work into it, and then I send it to you. Even after the fourth iteration, you're like, no. I can't let you send this. I can't let you post this. You can't do this. And this.
I straight up got a little upset about it, because, like, bro, we cannot put you out like that in the world. There's no way.
Yeah. And, I appreciate that. Because, and instead of, hey, you worked so hard, let's just put it out, But you're like, no, I can't let you do this. And I'm like, all right, fine. So to me, that signals someone who truly cares and is not afraid to really to say, hey, you worked hard, but doesn't matter. You got to work smart, okay, as well. You put in the work, but it got to be better, man. I was like, all right, back to the drawing table. Let me fix all this. And so that was cool and really an authentic, really, really cool, genuine thing that I'll remember for sure. Are there any specific questions?
No, man, that's it, really. I appreciate you for sharing that. Thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate that. That was a little bit of a glaze session. No, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, man. but hop on this guy, man. Hop on.
Yo, pause.
I'll leave that. That's open for interpretation. Hop on however you want. All right? But yeah, dude, I couldn't have done this without you, man. Like, literally, my life is transforming. My life is completely changing. I've wanted to do this for a decade, and it's happening now. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, letting go of my in-person studio, which I thought I would do and tolerate for the rest of my life.
Tolerate.
Yeah. I always knew this is not something I'm going to do for a long time. For a little while, I did think, okay, this can be my whole life. Maybe for the last 5 years or longer. Yeah, last 5 years. I was like, yeah, it's not right. I need to make a change. But how? I don't know what to do. And so it's happening now, it's happening, and I'm gonna just get to create.
Awesome, man.
And yeah, I couldn't have done it without you, dude, for real.
Oh, well, it's been a pleasure, and it'll continue being a pleasure because, man, we got some stuff already cooking. We're already cooking behind the scenes. The next steps are going to be better than ever, really, because like you said, right, if you put your best out right now, the best can only become better. And the best part of this that I really want to also highlight, and I think leave you with also to ponder on, as I'll see you on our next session, I think next week or week after, it's, Charlie, you've done this now. You've already made it work, man. It's happening. It's done. You get what I'm saying? It is absolutely done. It's been done. You just remembered what steps you had to take. I had to remind you a little bit, tell you in the right direction, get the right direction, but it's done.
It's done, man. It's done.
Awesome, man.
You just gotta keep it done and
literally. Awesome, man. Appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for also coming on this episode. I want to say show like I'm on an actual freaking podcast, as I was getting that one, but genuinely thank you for sharing your story and also the deeper, true, raw parts of it. It's been a pleasure. It's going to be a pleasure. And is there anything else you want to share with the world, like a little memo or anything you want to say? I actually got a really cool question once on a podcast I was in, and I think I'll ask that to you as well. Shout out, Marcus. There's one thing you could say to the world. If you could leave a text message and it would be the last thing you'd ever say, what would you say to the world? Hell yeah, rating you with the corny shit. What is it?
I'll tell you the first thing that just came to mind. It would just be, bruh.
Man, Chad, are we cooked?
If I had a suicide note, it would just like.
Why does it have to be a suicide note? Why couldn't it just be a nice entry out? Was it that dramatic?
I'm gonna tell you why. When it comes to these things, if you had one thing, it's like there's no one thing I can say that's gonna be that valuable. Might as well make it just dumb. All right, bruh.
Just go do it.
Yeah, do it. Like.
I love you, man. This is the type of stuff that we talk about every single time we work together that it just absolutely loves. Now, but is there actually something you want to say, or is that it? Or are you going to leave it at that one? That's actually low-key legendary.
Man, it's too open for me. One thing I say to the world, because if it's that general, you get that general response. Just, what else can I add to that? See, I can't even think.
We'll leave it at bro, and I think that's
the teacher in me.
No, that's all good, bro. We'll leave it at bro, because unironically, I think that was actually genius. In and of itself, I think that was both hilarious, and in and of itself, just so it's like, you know what, just go fucking do it. There's no overcomplicating anything.